Now we see this question. Okay, the second last question for this paper. Second last question for this paper. This one, okay, Doshi Manufacturing Company. Not only that this is a manufacturing question, but this is related to companies. Okay, right? Okay. Now, where were we last week? Where did we stop last week? Look at the A. Okay, look at the A. Your A should now look like this if you are if you have been doing correction with me since last week's lesson. Okay, your answer should now look like this. We have got the 386,600 as the cost of raw material. I left out one word here, cost of raw materials used. Okay, so after finishing the raw materials part, then you see the question to find what? Find direct labor cost. Direct labor cost. Direct labor. So very crowded, right? Okay, the question. So where to look for the item? Okay, I see it. It is here. The 297,100. This one. Okay. Factory operative indicates that this is direct labor. Okay, so wages paid to the factory operative. Okay, I put it side by side. Okay, on the left screen, the first page of the question, and on the right hand side, I write the answers. Okay, so go on and write this. 297,100. Factory operatives wages. Okay, you may also write it as wages of factory operative is also fine. Okay, rearrange it to become wages of factory operative. This is also acceptable. So once you have used any number, get into the habit of removing it, okay, by crossing it off to remove it. Direct labor means workers who directly work on the products in the factory. Workers who directly work on the products in the factory. Whenever they have finished making one product, maybe you pay them a few dollars. Okay, whenever they have finished making one extra unit of goods, you will pay them a few dollars. Okay, it increases with the number of units produced. That's why it's labor. Yeah, correct. Exactly. It's payment for their work. It's payment for the factory workers' work. Labor means worker. Labor means worker. Okay. Then, if you remember what you learned in the notes, I show you. If you remember what you learned in the notes, in chapter 13, this one I've explained earlier. Office and sales staff are not in the factory. We are now doing manufacturing account. We should not include anything that is linked to office. Office is outside the factory. Sales staff, those people who sell those goods to customer, they are outside the factory. They don't do it next to the machine in the factory, right? Okay. Office is a place where maybe an accountant is in there. Office means a place where maybe an accountant is in there. It is impossible for the accountant to be working inside the factory next to the machine, right? Okay, so that's why we don't take office and sales staff into the manufacturing account. Okay, let's come to here. Okay, so if you can recall, this is the format of the manufacturing account, and you see other direct costs. Okay, for other direct costs, there's only one possible item for IGCSE exam, which is royalty, which is royalty. Royalty, yeah, which I've explained using some notes here, okay, on that day, many months ago. So see if you have royalty in the question. But I'm not going to explain royalty again, yeah, okay? If you want to see the explanation again, then you go to your notes, you try to see the scribbles here. So see if you have royalty. Okay, I remember we don't have, and one look at the list of items, we don't have royalty. Then we can go straight to prime cost. Go straight to getting the prime cost number. Remember, purpose of doing a manufacturing account is to combine all the spendings that are linked to the factory only, okay, only. Trying to find out what is the cost of production, okay? That means the goods that you sell to the customer, how much have cost you in making them? How much have cost you in making the goods that you sell to the customer? So total up these two numbers, okay? Total up these two numbers. Okay, you should have done it as homework, yeah, okay? So that when I discuss, it would be more meaningful. Otherwise, you may have confusion, really. Okay. 683,700. This is prime cost. Prime cost is what? Prime cost is the total of all the direct costs. Total of all the direct costs. Prime cost. Okay, 683,700. Okay. After that, we move on to production overheads. Production overheads are the indirect cost of the factory. Indirect cost of the factory. Those costs, you can also call them as fixed costs. Okay, overheads are also known as fixed costs. Regardless of how many units of goods you produce in the factory, they stay the same. Okay, they are fixed. So let's draw the subheading. You write, and okay, you should be doing correction, yeah. At factory overheads. Draw a line for this. Okay. Now look at the question, find factory overheads. Let's do it. I remember those overheads, I should have indicated them with the OH, which stand for overhead. So look for OH label. Here, I see one here, factory supervisor salary. And the depreciation of factory machinery. And depreciation of loose tools. Okay, can see where I'm drawing the blue arrow. Okay, so I found 3 overheads here. Anything else? Work in progress here, you have finished goods. Okay, general expenses. Information number 5 tells us that general expenses, 3/5 goes to the manufacturing account. Okay, general expenses, if it is linked to the factory, is an overhead, yeah. So here one more, okay. So how many overheads in total? General expenses and the 2 depreciation amounts, and then the factory supervisor wages. Okay, let's do it. I begin with the description first, writing them on the left. Firstly, I write, shall we pick general expenses? Okay, let's pick up general expenses first. Sequence doesn't matter. Okay, once again, sequence of all the factory overheads, it doesn't matter. In arranging them, which one comes first, it doesn't matter. Next, you have supervisor, right? Okay, factory supervisor wages. Then depreciation of loose tools factory machinery. Okay. Now, let me pick up the numbers. General expenses 160,000 multiply it with, just now we look at the fraction, right? From the info number 5, 3/5. Okay, so times 3/5 times 3/5. Okay, and if there's any figure that you got through calculation, make sure you show the workings next to the description. Okay, it's like buying an insurance. In case you calculated wrongly with your calculator, then you will still get the full mark for this number if you have shown the workings here. Okay, if you calculated this wrongly, but your workings are completely correct, you will still get the mark. Okay, get the idea, yeah? Why we write the workings. Okay, next, you pick up factory supervisor wages. Okay, let me use a different color to show you. Okay, it's very crowded. I know the question is very crowded. Factory supervisor wages is here, 152,000, the one in purple. Okay. Do you notice or not? This is a trial balance. Okay, this is a trial balance. Okay. In a trial balance, when you see something that you have to pay, the amount here actually refers to amount you have actually paid. Okay, throughout the year, you have paid a total of $152,000 to your factory supervisors for their work done in the factory. Okay, this is amount actually paid. Okay, in a trial balance, when you see something that you have to pay, that amount would refers to the amount actually you have paid during the year. And for this item, you have to also see the additional info. They say that at the year end, can see where I'm highlighting, the one in purple. At the year end, you still owe to the factory supervisors some wages, 12,000. Okay, they say that during the year you have paid a total of 152,000 to the factory supervisor. Then they say at the year end, you still owe to the factory supervisor 12,000. Okay, a question to you. How much should we have paid to supervisor during the year? How much should we have paid to the supervisor during the year? How much should we have paid to the supervisor during the year? So everybody try to tell me what is the figure. I see if you can understand what I have mentioned. During the year, you have paid a total of $152,000 to the factory supervisor. And then they tell you at the year end, you still owe to the supervisor 12,000. How much should you have paid to the supervisor during the year? You sum up these two numbers. You think it makes sense? Based on what I said, we have to plus them, right? 12,000 plus 152,000. Okay, you can also get this number by doing the wages account. Okay, wages account to supervisor. I show you. Okay, I draw it here, yeah. Okay, the t-shirt. Okay, let's say wages to supervisor account. You have paid a total of 152,000. Why is it on the debit side? Because credit cash or credit bank, then debit the wages account. Therefore, the 152000 is here. At the year end, you still owe to the supervisor. How much? 12,000. So it's on the credit side. Why? Because it's a current liability. Balance DD, move it up diagonally. 12,000. Balance CD. I know this is more tedious, but if you cannot get the logic behind my explanation earlier, then you have to use the T account to get the figure you need. The missing figure is here. So 152000 plus 12,000, you will get 164000. Okay, let's put this into the answer. Those who are going for exam May, June 2020, right? You can actually start practicing past exam papers already. Okay, there is no time to wait. There's no time to wait. If you think that you can rely on my lessons once a week just for 1.5 hours, we cannot discuss many past exam papers. Okay, honestly. Okay, later I show you some analysis why I say so. Okay, let's show the calculation first, right? Show the calculation. 152000 plus 12,000. Okay, those tools depreciation. Sorry, I noticed that one student is missing. Okay, later I try to contact that student. Okay, we continue. Depreciation of those tools. Look at loose tools. The one in green color, the one highlighted in green color. I remember the other day, I highlighted them in green. Can you see? So you look at the drop in value of the loose tools. Okay, you see how much it has dropped. That would be the depreciation. Okay, for loose tools, we always use revaluation method. If you see chapter 7, you get the depreciation amount by looking at the drop in value of the loose tools. So show the calculation. 21150 minus 19050. Okay, close bracket. 2100. Okay, so that's the depreciation for loose tools using revaluation method. Next one would be, okay, I think I have to remove certain numbers. It's getting crowded. So remove those that you have used. Just now I used the factory supervisor figure, right? Remove it. Okay, now factory machinery depreciation. Where is it? Ishin, look at the question. Where to get the 19050? Those in green for loose tools. Can you see? Okay, at the bottom of my page on the left. That's the value of loose tools at the year end. Okay, now so this question, one of the very always challenge is also that there are many things here. Okay, there are many things here, and you have to know what you are doing. Let's say you are doing part A, you have to know what you are doing in this part A. Then you pick up the things that you need from the question. Okay, so yeah, your eyes have to be sharp. Your eyes have to be sharp in the exam. If you're not awake, that means you feel like you want to sleep in the exam. Okay, you feel like you want to sleep in the exam, then it would be difficult for you to do this question correctly. Okay, you have to be staying very awake, very alert then only you can do this correctly, okay? Because you need to be, energetic. You need to have the energy. Okay, now we continue. Next is, okay, I was looking for factory machinery, right? Let me use a different color to highlight for you. You observe here, the one in orange, the dark orange, okay? The dark orange. And then you have another figure, 122000. This is provision for depreciation. Okay, that means the 122000 refers to the depreciation you have charged for the machinery for all the earlier years. Okay, earlier years depreciation combined together, you get this 122000. Okay. What is the depreciation method? They say reducing balance method. Okay, can see info number 2, reducing balance method. No, we are not. We don't have to assume whether we are doing depreciation for 1 year or 2 years here. You just have to look at the question. The question here, we are doing manufacturing account for the year. So just 1 year, we are going to find current year's depreciation only for the year. Okay, for the year. Okay, just 1 year. We don't have to plus the earlier year's depreciation here because we are not doing the SOFP. Okay, we are just going to show the depreciation for the current year only. So calculation, how to do? We take the cost of the factory machinery, the one in dark orange, yeah. Okay, don't get distracted by all the other figures. Okay, look at the dark orange. 250000 minus what? Minus the provision for depreciation so far. Then you times with the 20%. Can see dark orange 20%. They say reducing balance method using that 20%. Okay, have a bigger bracket around. Okay, then do the calculation. Then you will get the depreciation for the current year. 25600. Okay, where to put the figure? Here or here? Up to you. Okay, doesn't matter. Not a big deal here. So I think I put it here. Okay, for me, I put it here. 256000. You can put it up here. Okay, up to you. It's okay. Not a big problem. Okay, numbers I have used, remove them. Okay, info number 2 has been used. Yes, Wenhui, the provision for depreciation is the combined depreciation from all the earlier years. All the earlier years depreciation combined together, that's the provision for depreciation figure. I think you have to revise the formula. The formula I show you is in the chapter 7. I show you. We are doing using the reducing balance method. There are 3 methods of depreciation. We are doing using this method. This is in your chapter 7. So just now I apply this formula. I zoom in a bit. Just now I apply this formula. Depreciation equal to cost minus accumulated depreciation, which means the same as provision for depreciation. Okay, cost minus provision for depreciation, then times with the percentage, then I get the current year's depreciation. Can recall? Ishin, you are referring to provision for depreciation is different from depreciation. Okay, provision for depreciation is all the depreciation combined together. Okay, when you use the single word depreciation, we are just finding a particular year's depreciation, just 1 year's depreciation. Yeah, we don't have to combine. Don't get confused. Yeah, different. We are finding the current years only. Okay. Okay. Now, also one thing, a common mistake made by students, some students, they may tend to write provision for in front. Okay, don't. Okay, we are doing a manufacturing account here. Even in the income statement, you should not have this term provision for. Okay, you are just showing current year's depreciation. Okay, don't show the provision for in front. Yeah. Okay, now we continue to the next item. Any more production overhead? I don't think so. Okay, because all the OH I have taken into account. Okay, now finish. We can get to the next figure. Don't be surprised if I make some minor mistakes, okay? Because it's also about our being careful, okay? Our carefulness level. If I'm very careful enough, then I may get the entire answer correct. Knowing how to do doesn't mean that you can do all correctly. Yeah, okay. Sometimes also have to be careful. Same goes to mathematics. If you know the entire subject, it doesn't mean that you can do all the questions correctly, right? Many other factors like reasoning skills and being careful and so on. Okay, everybody, a question to you. Should I plus or minus the 287,700? Should I plus or minus the 287,700 plus or minus? Okay, see if you can remember plus or minus. Okay, Ilana, you can also try. Yeah, right or wrong doesn't matter. We are all learning here. Okay, so I have got 3 answers. We should plus. Okay, common mistake made by students if they are doing too fast, including me. Okay, if I do too fast, I may have accidentally do a minus here. Okay, because this part looks very similar to the income statement expenses section, right? Okay, it's at the same position here, right? And therefore, students may tend to minus here. They forget that they are doing manufacturing account. Manufacturing account is about combining all the factory expenses. Combine means what? Plus or minus? Combine means plus, so plus. Okay, so let me erase this. Be plus, yeah, plus. $971,400. Okay. You don't have to use red color, okay? You don't have to use red color here. I just happen to be using red color. But you cannot bring red pen to the exam hall anyway. Okay, so I'm done with the direct cost of the factory section. I'm done with the factory overhead section. Last part, we have to deal with the work in progress. So see the question again. How do you deal with work in progress? Here, you have to plus opening work in progress minus closing work in progress. Plus opening minus closing. Okay, and you have to know the reason again. The reason you plus opening work in progress is because opening work in progress is the work in progress you still have at the beginning of the year. Logically, you should have finished them into finished goods during the year. Therefore, you plus. Closing work in progress are the work in progress you still have at the year end, not finished into final product yet. And therefore, you have to remove it. Okay, because the last number you get here, must be the cost of production for finished goods only, completed goods only. Okay, therefore you do this calculation, plus opening minus closing work in progress. Okay, come back to here. So look for them in the question. Do you have opening work in progress? You see, have to look at the top of the question again. Is it? You have to keep jumping here and there throughout the question, so that you get the numbers you need. This time I use dark blue color. I show you. This is opening work in progress. How do I know it's opening? Because I have a subheading here, inventory 1st February 2016. Okay, at the beginning of the years, opening work in progress. Okay, so right here, add opening $28750. Okay, you can get straight to writing the closing work in progress. Okay, you don't have to calculate it first, then only you minus the closing work in progress is fine. Okay, show them together. Last closing work in progress. Where is it? Look at the bottom of the page. Okay, then you may have a question, how do I know? Okay, because first thing is I've been learning accounting since year 2008. Okay, I started learning accounting since 2008 when I was in SPM. Okay, and nowadays I'm teaching, therefore I'm more experienced, therefore I know where's the figure. So, but you can do the same. Okay, once you have done many questions, you would know where to look for the number. All the closing balances, they tend to be at the bottom. So which figure? 31250. 31250. Can see? Let me highlight for you in dark blue. Okay, so bring this number into the answering area. Okay, so those who are new to the group, let me tell you one thing. If you feel like I'm speaking too loud, you adjust on your computer, yeah. Okay, because everyone's computer is different. Okay, so you adjust your computer to lower down the volume. If you think that I speak too loud. Okay, so number is what? 31250. Okay, minus. Then you get the last figure of the manufacturing account. This is known as cost of production. So you should now calculate these three numbers. Okay, take this plus this minus this. Hope I can get the correct answer. Not sure if this is the right figure. I have to see the mark scheme. Okay, so finish. This is manufacturing account. I go have a look at the mark scheme. Okay, is correct. Cost of production 968,900. Can see? Okay. Issuing finished goods appear outside the factory. Finished goods are things that have been completed. They are already outside the factory, and they should be in the income statement. They should be in the income statement. All the finished goods are in the income statement. Later, I show you again where to put all the three kinds of inventory. Okay, later I show you the formatting again to let you recall. Okay, so everybody, when you are done with correction, you let me know with the word done in the chat box. Then we continue. Okay, I wait for you. I give you a few seconds. Okay, while waiting for you to do correction, I go text the student who is not here. She could have forgotten. Okay, when you're done with correction, you have understood the question, then you let me know with the word done. Okay, Kelly is done. Wenjun is done. Okay, the rest I wait for you. Okay, good, Wenhui. Good, Crystal. Okay, Ilana, you can also respond. Yeah, okay. When you're done with the understanding. Okay, good, good. Okay, again, if you have question from time to time, feel free to type in the chat box or you speak. It's all right. Okay, now I wait for Ishin. Okay, good. Everyone is done. Let me check again. Yes, everyone is done. So before I continue on to the next question, let me show you again the formatting of manufacturing account and the income statement to show you where exactly do you put the inventory, all the three kinds of inventory. Okay, in manufacturing business, there are three types of inventory: the raw material, work in progress, and finished goods. Okay, if you look at your chapter 13, okay, you have these three things. Okay, you have these three things. And where do you show their opening and closing? You look at the manufacturing account. Ishin, WIP, work in progress, work in progress. Raw material opening show here. Raw material opening show here. And closing raw material is shown here. Work in progress, just now I showed to you, they are here. Finished goods show where? Finished goods show in the income statement cost of sales section. This is opening finished goods. This is closing finished goods. Okay, so you can see the difference here. All the finished goods goes into the income statement. Raw material and work in progress goes into the manufacturing account. Work in progress, work in progress, work still in progress. That means things that are not raw material is also not completed yet. Okay, it's done halfway through. It's not in final form of product yet. That's work in progress. It's not in final form of product yet, but it's also not raw material. You have done some processes upon them. That's work in progress. You can see the definition here. If you want to see the definition, yeah, half. You have done it halfway. Okay, you see, an inventory that has gone through some manufacturing processes, but yet to be completed into finished goods, therefore not ready for sale. Okay. Okay. By the way, Ilana, you don't have to worry about where do you get all these notes, because I'll be sending to you the fully completed notes. Okay, the one that I tell you that I will drop it at the courier company. Okay, you will get all the notes at the end. I will drop it at the courier company next week. Okay, now move on to the next question. Next question is what? Okay, Sanjay. Okay, Sanjay. Question A, question B, question C, question D. Okay, I guess this time I don't have to. Okay, never mind. We do the question A first. Two purposes of trial balance. Okay, why do you prepare trial balance? You can copy and paste from the chapter 5. You can copy and paste from the chapter 5. They are written here. Okay, so just copy and paste yourself. Yeah, this one. This is straightforward. And I let you do it yourself. DIY. Question B, type of errors. This is important. Before you can do this question, you must remember all the names. Okay, there are a total of 6 names of errors to remember. What they are? What they are? You can look at chapter 11 that you have learned with me. They are all here. Okay, let me show you. Okay, omission, complete reversal, original entry, commission, principal, compensating error. Okay. Not sure if you have tried this question at home, but if you have not done, you try to have a look at the 3 errors. I would like everybody to try to give me what is the name of error for error 3, 4, and 5. Okay, once you have looked through the question and you have determined what your answers are for B, you tell me in the chat box. Then I will discuss with everyone. Okay, right or wrong doesn't matter. Importantly, you attempt the question before I let you know the answer. Okay, this is a very important part of the subject. I wait for you. Give you some timer. So those who have done at home, of course, you can write the answers now in the chat box. Okay, then you wait for a while. Give you 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Can see the timer, right? Okay. Now you can begin to determine the answer for the B. Then you tell me by typing in the chat box. Okay, wait for you. Okay, time is up. And Ishin, you are looking at the wrong question. We are looking at question B. We are looking at question B. To apply prudent principles? No, we are not doing this question. Which question are you looking at? Ishin, we are looking at this question. Sanjay's question and B, part B. Okay. Never mind. You look at how I discussed this question, then you try to understand. Okay, never mind. Okay. So most of you have chosen commission for the first one, double M. Yeah, error of commission is with double M in the word of commission. So see if it's correct. Error number 3. Goods purchased on credit from Simon 680. Okay, recall how I deal with all these errors. Never continue to read the rest of the error before you have determined what should be done with this. Buy goods on credit from Simon. Buy goods on credit from Simon. What should be done? Should have debited purchases, credit Simon. Okay, come up with this yourself first. Come up with this yourself first. Okay, determine what should be done first. Then only you see what they have done. Okay, continue to read. Had been correctly entered in the purchases account. They say that in the purchases account, yes, no problem. in the purchases account, it has no problem. That means they should have debited purchases correctly. Okay, then continue to read. But had been posted to the account of Simone, okay, or you call it Simone. So this is the mistake, right? They said posted to the account of Simone. But does it tell you posted to the debit or credit side? It doesn't tell you, right? When they don't tell you such detail, you have to assume that they posted it to the correct side, meaning they have credited. Okay, you have to assume that they credited Simone account. So what error is this? This is error of commission. This is error of commission. How do I know? Because both the wrong and correct account belong to the same category of items. Okay, they should have credited Simon, but they credited Simone. But even though it's a mistake, but both of them belongs to the same kind of thing. So this is error of commission. Yeah, correct. You recall the word common, okay? That's how you remember how is error of commission linked to such thing. Okay, commission. You look at that word. You can structure the word common. You can structure the word common from the word commission. Okay, so error 3, error of commission. Next is error 4. No entry had been made for stationery paid in cash. No entry had been made. Okay. Did they tell you they have made any debit entry? Did they tell you that they have made any credit entry? Nothing, right? That means nothing has been done at all. This is error of omission. Okay, after you have marked this, I give you one question. Then you try to answer me yes or no. If they continue to say, but it has been recorded correctly in the cash book. Okay, it has been correctly recorded in the cash book. That means they have recorded in the cash book only. They have not recorded it in the stationery account. Then is this still an error of omission? So everybody, you can try to type in the chat box, is this still error of omission? If they say it has been recorded correctly in the cash book, it is just that they have not recorded into the stationery account. Is this still an error of omission? They have omitted recording it in the stationery account. Is this still error of omission? Okay, give you everybody 20 seconds. The rest who have not answered, you can try to think again. Okay, let me repeat the question. If the question continue to say that it has been correctly recorded in the cash book, then is this still error of omission? Okay, Yixin Crystal, what is your idea? Right or wrong doesn't matter. Okay, I will explain again. Okay, let me tell you, yeah. Okay, answer is either yes or no, yeah, okay. Let me tell you whether it's yes or no. Answer is no. It would no longer be an error of omission if they say that something has been recorded while the other entry omitted. Remember the definition of error of omission? I show you the notes. At the time when we were learning this, I told you that it must be 100% nothing has been done. It must be 100% that nothing has been done. Then only is error of omission. Okay, you see, a transaction that has not been recorded at all. That means they must have not done anything. Okay, if they tell you that debit entry has been done, but credit entry has been omitted, it's not error of omission. Okay, don't think that that means you don't have to take this word literally. Okay, don't take this word literally. You have to know the definition. When nothing has been done, then only it is error of omission. No entry done, no credit entry done, then only is error of omission. My question is actually whether this is still error of omission, this error 4, whether this is still error of omission if they have this line. Okay, they continue to write, but it has been recorded correctly in the cash book. So at least they have recorded something right. Then it would no longer be an error of omission. Okay. Your question, if they have done it wrongly at one side, there's no name to it. There's no name to it. Okay. Let's say they debit with 1,000, they credit with 100. There's no name to such error. Okay. There's no name to such error. It's just a simple error. Don't worry, they won't ask you what's the name of it. We now look at error 5. So remember, yeah, error of omission. Error of omission means nothing has been done at all. Number 5, motor vehicle repairs. Okay, 700. So when you pay for motor vehicle repairs, you credit cash or bank, then you debit motor vehicle repair or you debit repair. Okay, you see what they did. Debited to the motor vehicles account. This is the mistake. When you buy motor vehicle, then only you debit motor vehicle account. This is not buying motor vehicle, but it's about repair. So this is a mistake of what? Principle, error of principle. Because motor vehicle repair is an expense, motor vehicle is an NCA. Both the wrong and correct account belong to different category of item. There are two different kind of things. This is NCA, this is expense. Therefore, this is error of omission. Okay, the other way around from commission, yeah. Error of commission and error of principle, they are the other way around. So write error of principle. Principle, yeah, principle. Don't write PRINCIPAL, not PAL, yeah. PLE, okay, PLE. But don't worry, I don't think that the examiner would still penalize you if you write principle, okay? Because it's not an English paper. They should get what you mean. Okay, next one. Question C. Okay, this time I show you side by side, yeah, easier for you to see. On the left, I show you the question. On the right, I show you the answering area. Let me adjust a bit, hold on. Okay, can still see, okay? On the right hand side, the answering area. Okay, prepare suspense account, making the necessary entries to correct errors. Balance or total the amount as required. It's a 6-mark question. So remember, when do you open a suspense account? Let me show you again. Okay, let me show you again. How and why we open a suspense account? When the trial balance is not balanced. Trial balance is the list of items containing all the balances. Okay, so there are two types of error. Remember, when you have a trial balance that is imbalanced, something like this, where the total debit more than total credit by a certain amount, then you have to open a suspense account. Okay, and then when you do correction, you must also touch the suspense account. I show you one example. Okay, this is the example that we did when we were going through the notes. When the trial balance is imbalanced, you focus on the side with a lower number. Okay, focus on either the debit or credit column with the lower number. So in this case, the credit side is smaller by 9, smaller by 9 compared to the debit total, right? It's 27. Okay, the total debit is more than the total credit by 9. And then you open a suspense account, you put a 9 on the credit side because you have to top up another 9 you have to top up another 9 points to be the same, to make it become the same as 36. Okay, let me repeat. Look at the trial balance. Look at the side with a smaller number, the total which is smaller. Then you see how much to increase it with to become the same as the bigger number. So you have to plus 9. So you put a 9 here. Then here write difference in trial balance. Then you can begin doing correction. Remember? Okay, let me show you again in that question. So look at the left of my screen. We see the question. A trader prepared his trial balance. Totals of trial balance did not agree. Yes, correct, Yishin. Sanjay entered the difference, a credit balance in a suspense account. Good. They have told you that you have to show this amount in the suspense. Okay, that means instead of telling you the trial balance, total debit and total credit, they have found you the difference. Okay, you don't have to do the deduction yourself. So credit balance 1110. 1110. Here you write difference in trial balance. Okay, you remember this term, yeah? Difference in trial balance. If your writing is big, it's okay to use the next row, okay? But if possible, you can squeeze nicely into just one row. Okay, up to you. Not a very big problem. What about the date? Date, you write the one given in the question. There's only one date given, can see. 31st January 2018. Okay, write that date. Okay, then start to do correction. And remember, there are two types of errors. Errors that would affect the trial balance and errors that would not affect the trial balance, remember? And when you are doing the suspense account, you only have to correct those errors that would affect the trial balance to become imbalanced. So how would you know? Let me show you how I do. Let me erase these things first. Okay, now we look at error 1. Okay, I zoom in, yeah. Wages account had been undercut by 270. That means you have to know in a wages account, a number appears on the debit or credit side in a wages account. Okay, everybody, this is a question to you. You answer in the chat box. In a wages account, if you have a number, the number should appear on the debit or credit side of the wages account. Okay, give you some time to think. If you want to go find out by looking through the notes, you can also do so. Give you 1 minute. Okay, in a wages account, the number should appear on the debit or credit side. Okay, wait for you. I'm not asking for the answer, yeah, okay? I'm just asking something separately. In the wages account, number should appear on the debit or credit side. Okay. So it's okay to try, yeah. Okay, right or wrong doesn't matter. So now I let you know the figure should be on the debit or credit side of wages account. There are two ways to determine. Wages is something that you have to pay, right? Wages is something that you have to pay. Imagine you pay wages with cash. What are the tab entries? You have to credit cash, debit wages, right? See, from the tab entries, you know that in a wages account, you should put the figure on the debit side, because when you pay for wages, you have to credit cash or bank, then you debit wages. Okay, so that's one way to remember. So answer is debit. Answer is debit. Okay. Any number in the wages account, it should be on the debit. Another way to determine is that you have to memorize a table. You can memorize a table that you learn in trial balance. I show you. This is chapter 5. Here, chapter 5. This, sorry. Last time I didn't draw you a table here. Let me show you one. Okay, I taught you this many months ago. Okay, but as I have taught this topic many times, I have improved the way of the explanation. I show you a table. Not sure if you have that table. Okay, I cannot find. Let me find from another group of students. Okay, why I cannot find the table. Is this table that I was talking about. Okay, if you don't have this table, or you have forgotten whether you have this table or not, you take a picture. Okay, you take a picture or you screenshot it. Okay, this table would help you to determine whether an account should have the number on the debit or credit side. Hold on, I will tell you how to solve the question. My question is whether in a wages account, the number should be on the debit or credit side. Okay, I'm not solving the question yet. I'm not asking you to solve the question. So in an asset account, in an expense account, in a drawings account, number should be on the debit side. Okay, and we were looking at wages account, right? So number should be on the debit side. On another hand, for liabilities, incomes, and capital account, it is the other way around. Okay, so this table is important for you to solve some questions like doing a trial balance. Okay, now get back to there. Now we focus on solving the question. So the question say wages account had been undercast by 270. Okay, so you imagine we have a wages account. Amount written here is 200. And they tell you that this is undercast by 270. Undercast also means understated. Undercast also means understated, which means lower than it should be. Lower than it should be. Okay, lower than it should be. That means this figure, you want to make it become 470. Okay, because the 470 is the correct figure. Okay, that's what that has been explained here, described here. They say undercast by 270. So how can you make this 200 to become 470? You have to debit the wages account further. You have to debit the wages account further by 270, so that it becomes 470. You get the idea? The 470 is the correct figure that we are trying to achieve, but accidentally they recorded it as 200, and then they say it's undercast by 270. Okay, therefore I have to debit the wages account further, so that you have 470 on the debit side. So how to show the correction? Correction. You have to debit the wages account further by 270. Anything else to do? When you see that there's nothing else to do, That means the other entry must be going to the suspense account, remember? So you don't have to care whether there is going to be an entry in the suspense account or not at the beginning. You would know at the end. Okay, you focus on doing correction first, remove their mistake, and try to correct their mistake first. Then only you would know whether you need an entry in the suspense account or not. Okay, so for the first one, correction, here you go. Debit wages 270, credit suspense 270. So go to the suspense account, credit side, write 270. Details, write wages. Again, this is crediting suspense, yeah. Okay, don't tell me that this is crediting wages. You focus on the position of number and the name of the account. This is crediting suspense. Details are always the name of the other account, right? Okay, so this is crediting suspense. We look at the next error. Okay, if you have question, you let me know, yeah. Okay, now we look at the second error. Rent received 1,000. So when you receive rent, what are the double entries you would do? You will debit cash or bank, then you credit rent received, right? Okay, when you receive rent, you debit cash or bank, then you credit rent received. They say, had been correctly entered in the bank account. Okay, so probably they received the rent in the form of check, okay, or bank transfer. So they say in the bank account, no problem. It means that they must have debited either cash or bank. But no other entry had been made. That means what they have not done is crediting rent received. They have not done the credit entry. So since they have not done it, we help them to do it. Agree? So correction entry, you credit rent received. Anything else to do? Nothing, right? Actually, nothing else to correct, right? That means the debit entry must be going to the suspense account. That's how you know whether you need an entry in the suspense account or not. Can understand? Okay, this second one is quite simple. So show it in the suspense account. Do this entry, debit suspense. Amount is 1,000. 1,000. Okay, again, write number first. Okay, then details are always the name of the neighboring account. Name of the neighboring account. Okay. The date, you can write the same date. For this question, there's no mark for the date, but please write the date. Okay, please write the date. Yeah, now we see the error 3. Goods purchased on credit from Simon. I remember just now we read this, right? Correctly entered in the purchases account, but posted to the Simone account. So what they have done is they debit purchases, then they credited Simone. But would this affect the trial balance? No, this error will not affect the trial balance. If you were to do the correction for this error, you have to debit Simone, then you help them to credit Simon. This is the correct entry, correction entry. Without touching the suspense account. Therefore, for this error 3, we are not going to correct it in the question C. Okay, we won't correct this in the question C because it doesn't touch the suspense. Can understand? Yeah, we see the next one. No entry had been made for stationery paid in cash. This is error of omission. When you do the correction, how would it look like? When you do the correction, how would it look like? So correction again. They have not done anything. They have not done anything. So you help them to complete everything. You have to credit cash because they say pay in cash, right? So credit cash, then debit stationery. So would you touch the suspense when you are doing correction for this? No again. Why? Because this error doesn't affect the trial balance, and it won't make you open a suspense. Okay, this error would not make you open a suspense. Okay, so skip it and then go to the next one. Which error? Error 5. Okay, now we look at error 5. Motor vehicle repairs had been debited to the motor vehicles account. Again, this error would not affect the trial balance. Therefore, when you do correction, you will also not have to touch the suspense. So for correction purposes, let me show you. They have to debit motor vehicle repair, then credit motor vehicle. Simple. Okay. Last one. All the ones highlighted in yellow, you know what they are, right? They are the correction. Okay, they are the correction. Okay, last one. Purchases journal, purchaser returns 190. Okay, before you continue to read, try to recall what are the tab entries for purchaser returns. When you return goods back to the supplier, you will credit purchaser returns, debit supplier account. Okay, this is what you learned many months ago, okay, with me. Then you see the question. Had incorrectly entered in the supplier account, okay. That means they must have debited supplier. Okay, they must have done this correctly, debited supplier. But had been debited to the sale returns, sale returns account. Okay, let me show you clearly what they have done. Okay, what was done by them? So what was done by them? What was done by them? They have debited supplier account. Okay, because they say correctly entered in the supplier account. Okay, and they have also debited sale returns. These are what they have done. They debited supplier account. They also debited sale returns account. So this is obviously a mistake, right? Because they have done 2 times of debit without doing any credit entry. So how to do correction? You have to remove their mistake first. Okay, you have to remove their mistake first. You have to remove this. Agree? Because sale returns account should not appear here. Okay, sale returns account should not appear here. So remove their mistake first by crediting sale returns. Okay. Okay, first and foremost, understand this first. Okay, why I credit sale returns account as correction? Because I'm now removing their mistake. Okay, because they debited sale returns wrongly. They should not debit sale returns, right? So I credit sale returns to remove their mistake. Then I help them to record it correctly in the purchases returns account. So you credit purchases returns. Many students, they would make the mistakes of debiting purchases returns. Okay, why? Because they forgot that the correct entries for purchases returns is debiting supplier and crediting purchases returns. These are the correct tab entries for such transaction. Okay, therefore, to avoid that mistake, you try to follow my way of doing it. Always come up with what should be done with the transaction first. Okay, always come up with what should be done with this transaction first. Then you will see clearly what to do when you do correction. If you don't have this, you may have a very high chance of making mistake. Okay, so once you have found the transaction, come out with what should be done first. Then you see what they did. Then you do correction. Okay, so firstly, I remove their mistake. I credit sale returns. Okay, I credit sale returns to remove their mistake. Then I help them to record it correctly. Credit purchase returns. Anybody can tell me what should I debit? What account should I debit? Okay, everybody, you try. What account should I debit? Give everyone few seconds. Okay, 20 seconds. Okay. You can try, right or wrong, doesn't matter. I will tell you the correct answer. Okay, so what do you think I should debit as correction? Remember, there is when you see that there's nothing else to be done, then you should debit. Debit what? Okay, Kelly, not supplier, yeah. Why? You look at the question again. They say correctly enter in the supplier's account. That means no mistake in the supplier account. You get it? Okay, correctly enter in the supplier account. No mistake in the supplier account. When you see that there's nothing else to be done, I always say you touch the suspense account. Therefore, you should debit the suspense account. Okay, so among all the 6 errors here, I think the trickiest one is the last one. Okay, because you need 2 credit entries and 1 debit entry as the correction. Let's show it in the answer. You have to debit suspense with 2 amounts of 190. And then details, one of them you write purchases returns. The other one you write sale returns. Okay. I write the amount here for you, okay, in case you don't get it. The amount for this is 380, here 190, here 190. Okay, so these are the correction. This is one of the most important topic in throughout the subject. Okay, for sure you will see this topic's question in the exam. Every exam sitting, there will be questions on correction of accounting error. Not only that, it would surely come up. There are many marks to score. Okay, this is one of the topics with the highest number of marks to score in the exam as well. Okay, yeah, so done with the last error. What to do next? You try to observe your suspense account. Draw the lines first. You try to see whether total debit or total credit is greater, or are they the same? They are total debit and total credit. So I try to calculate with my calculator. I got the same figure. What does this mean? It means that this category of errors that can be reviewed by preparing trial balance, they have all been corrected. That's why I managed to close the suspense account. Okay, there are 2 groups of error. Remember, there are 2 groups of errors. Errors which can be reviewed by preparing trial balance have all been corrected because I managed to close the suspense. Okay, now question D. State whether all the errors in Sanjay's account have been discovered. Give your reason. Okay. We would not know. So you write with me. So the part C finish, yeah, okay? That's how you complete the suspense account. Now we look at this. State whether all errors have been discovered. Sorry, let me repeat again. It cannot be determined So here you need to have some reasoning here, okay? It cannot be determined whether all errors in Sanjay's account These are the answers. Okay, I know it's not easy to write, but that's the challenging thing of this question. Remember, there are still some errors that cannot be detected by preparing trial balance. Your trial balance would still look perfect, but those errors still exist because those errors that cannot be discovered, they have done both debit and credit entry, and the amounts are the same. Even though the accounts are wrong, even the amounts are wrong, maybe they should be 1,000, it will not affect the trial balance. Okay, so it's very challenging to find these errors in real life as well. Okay, sometimes they go past being unnoticed by us as well. Okay, so we cannot do anything about it. If we find any of this error, then only we do correction. But in the exam, don't worry, they would have given you all the errors that have existed. Do we need to state the examples of these errors? Possible, yes. If the exam asks you for, please tell some examples of errors that cannot be discovered by preparing trial balance, then you have to tell them possible for such question to come up. Okay, one of you asked me if they would ask us for examples. Okay, what are the examples of this kind of error that would not be discovered by preparing trial balance? Yes, possible. Okay, everybody, when you're done with writing down these two sentences, let me know with the word done. Again, you have any question for this topic, also let me know now. Then we move on to something else. Okay, 4 of you are done. Okay, good, Ilana. Okay, good, Kelly. Now we see something else. So that's the end of this paper. So we have spent many lessons going through 3 sets of exam papers. Remember, I showed to you what we have done so far. I will tell you what we will do from next week onward. Okay, we will start with past exam papers. Okay, we will start with the past exam papers, not those compiled by me. Okay, so for the past few weeks, we had been discussing these 6 papers, right? Paper 1 covering the topics from in my material, chapter 1 to 5. Paper 2 covering the topics in my material, chapter 1 to 5, and these few papers. Okay, just now we have just finished the paper 2 for part 11 to 15. Right, so congrats, we have finished all the papers. And next week onward, we are going to move to the past exam papers, those compiled by Cambridge. And now what do? We do some MCQ, okay? Just a few minutes, we cannot do anything that is big in size. We try to do some MCQ. I will tell you in advance what we will do next Sunday, okay? Maybe a few days before the lesson, so that you can get to prepare. Okay, you can get prepared before the next lesson. Okay, where should I go to now? Okay, Sunday, 11 a.m. I show you a few MCQ, you try, then we discuss. Just look at my screen to answer. Okay, here. Oh, purpose of preparing trial balance. You can see the chapter 5. Okay, this is trial balance that you learned in chapter 5. So just now you saw a question, what is the purpose, right? I tell you to copy and paste this, right? Maybe you want the explanation. Okay, the first one, check the arithmetical accuracy, means you are trying to ensure that all the tab entries you did earlier, you have been using the same numbers for both the debit and credit entry. Okay, that's the meaning of ensuring arithmetical accuracy. Arithmetical means number. Okay, you are trying to ensure that the numbers that you have used for both the debit and credit entry here are the same. Okay, so when you do the trial balance, if you don't get the totals to be the same, the total debit not equal to the total credit, it means that you must have used different numbers for debit and credit for certain things here. Okay, so that's one purpose. That's one purpose. And it's also a preparation step to do the financial statement. It's kind of like getting ready with the ingredients before you cook a dish. So here, before you prepare the financial statement, before you prepare income statement, before you prepare SOFP, you prepare this first. Okay, remember when you do income statement, you are given a list of items. They are the trial balance. Okay, they give you a trial balance. Then you do the income statement, do the SOFP. Okay, a preparation step to do the financial statement. Okay, so there you go, the purposes. Okay, this is in your chapter 5, yeah, okay. So for Ilana, when you get the notes, you will see all these things, don't worry. Okay, now, 2 questions before we dismiss. Let me choose 1 or 2 questions for you. You try to look at this page. Sorry, you look at my screen. You don't have this PDF. Then you answer question 1. You tell me A, B, C, or D. Okay, then I will tell you right or wrong. I wait for you. 2 minutes. If you need to look at the notes, go on and look at the notes, yeah? I wait for you. Okay, less than 1 minute left. Okay, I wait for 1 more answer. Okay, time's up. Now let's see how to solve the question. This question, not easy, because first and foremost, you have to know how to do an income statement, what are the numbers that appear in an income statement, how to do an SOFP, okay, SOFP, yeah, okay, first alphabet of each word here. And what are the things that could appear in an SOFP, you must know very well. And you learn them in chapter 2 with me, right? Okay, chapter 2 of my material. And secondly, you have to know all the formulas for all these 4 things. You learn them in chapter 16 of my material. Okay, so they ask you which ratio, so all these 4 are ratios, can only be calculated using info from both the income statement and SOFP. Okay, margin, you know there are 2 types of margin. One is net profit margin, another is gross profit margin. So which margin are they meaning here? I also do not know, but we do whatever we can here. Net profit margin equal to Profit for the year on top, profit for the year on top, revenue at the bottom, times 100. Gross profit margin equal to gross profit on top, revenue at the bottom, times 100. Okay, what is markup? Markup is cost of sales at the bottom, gross profit on top, then times 100. Okay. Rate of inventory turnover, you have cost of sales on top, then opening inventory plus closing inventory divided by 2. Okay, remember, okay, this is the formula for rate of inventory turnover if you see the chapter 16. ROCE, profit for the year on top, NCL, and capital at the bottom. Anybody wants to change answer? Give you 10 seconds if you want to change answer. Okay, now I tell you which is the answer. Profit for the year come from income statement. Revenue come from income statement. Gross profit come from income statement. This come from income statement. So for sure, answer is not A. Gross profit come from income statement. Cost of sales come from income statement. So answer is not B. Cost of sales come from income statement. Opening inventory, closing inventory come from income statement. So for sure, answer is not C. Profit for the year come from income statement. NCL come from the SOFP. Capital come from the SOFP. So answer is donkey. Okay, so you see how challenging this question is. So it may be something you see in the future exam. Okay, so be prepared for all this. But I know so far we have not done a lot of MCQ. Okay, actually I have a bunch of MCQ for you to practice. I will show you soon. Okay, so the next few days I will WhatsApp you to tell you what you have to get prepared with to come for the next Sunday lesson. Okay, I will let you do some work so that when I discuss in the lesson, it will be more meaningful. Okay, so you stay tuned. Okay, I will WhatsApp you or email you. Okay, I will let you know. Have a nice day, everyone. I will see you next week again at the same time. Okay, bye. Enjoy the rest of the day. Welcome, everybody. Have a nice day.